Howdy. My name's Claudio. Welcome back to the channel. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't check out my past video, make sure you check out my past videos. You know what I'm saying? Cloudy season is coming. You know? Today, we got a video from Everything Always. We solved where the 10 rings beacon is signaling. Where the 10 rings beacon is signaling. That word is, bro. And why Dr. Doom wants to.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael.
Apparently nobody knows where.
Now, I'll be the first to admit that there are multiple post-credit scenes in the multiverse saga that may end up going absolutely nowhere. Even Kevin Feige admitted we may never see some of those characters again. Duly noted. However, there were some post-credit scenes, like the one for the end of Multiverse of Madness, or more specifically the post-credit scene in Shang-Chi, that seem to have huge implications that still hold to wherever the story is going with Avengers Doomsday and eventually Secret Wars. Today we're going to cover a theory as to where the beacon illuminated by Shang-Chi's use of the 10 rings at the end of his film is actually going to, or rather emanating from, and what it means for those 10 rings, Shang-Chi, and an epic journey at the heart of the...
After kind of figuring out how powerful they are, well, I didn't I don't know exactly how powerful they are, but I know they're powerful enough to the point where nobody knows where it comes from. I read up a little bit on the 10 rings, and supposedly after Shang-Chi, bro, when Wong came to get him, apparently him, Wong, Bruce Banner, and Captain Marvel tried to figure out where the origins of the 10 rings, try to find the origins of the 10 rings, and they couldn't. And apparently it's sending out a type of signal. I wonder what kind of signal it is, or like what the signal is doing. Like, is it like tearing a part of time and space? Is it creating a certain time event or something? Like, what's gonna be the indication of it like happening? You know what I mean? So I just want to know if these rings are powerful, bro, and supposedly only certain people can actually get that beacon, like realize the beacon is going on. I wonder if Dr. Doom might be one of them, because they saying he's super powerful in magic and tech. So what if he just really understands it?
Coming Avengers Doomsday and eventual involvement with
it's a lot.
We're breaking it all down, but first I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video. Now, some of you guys already know here at the channel, I am a die-hard World of Warcraft player. I'm an 8-time Gladiator Warlock who very generally competes at the top of the leaderboards for any game mode PvP. But you know what I'm terrible at? I'm terrible at coding. I have been all my life. And that's why I'm so excited to share with you the sponsor of today's video, Boot.dev. No matter where you're at with your coding experience, Boot.dev has taken learning coding to the next level by gamifying it and turning it into an RPG. Now, their mission is very simple. It's to teach you programming focused on back-end development by, again, taking it and turning it into a role-playing game where you have things like quests and experience, all the normal things you'd expect from an RPG, except you're learning coding along the way. And for me, I did not major in computer science in college. Quite the opposite. I was a music major. But several times in my life, I've either needed coding to do my personal projects like a website, or even considered it as a real career path. Listen, the median back-end developer in the United States makes $100,000, and that's just the median, which means it goes up from there. And a lot of times, those jobs are either hybrid remote or even completely remote, which you guys know since the pandemic, all the work-from-home jobs have basically dried up. And again, with Boot.dev, you're going to learn back-end development with Python and Go in a self-paced way that feels like an RPG. And look, if you want to check out their website, it's free to make an account, log for a
go check out the website.
Description. Hit the link down in the description. Go to Boot.dev. Get 20 is the alien obviously. Now with the post, code everything and start your journey to becoming a coder and back-end developer today. Now, with the post-credit scene for Shang-Chi, some of the dialogue that's included here is very obviously just an underhander to the crowd to basically reference things they know in the MCU. Hulk asking Captain Marvel if they're Chitauri is simply because the Chitauri is the alien force that invaded. He has no reason to...
Yeah, bro, I read that too, that it's not even alien tech, bro. Like, what the hell are the 10 rings? Supposedly, it's been around since before a lot of powerful beings, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if they can't even find out where it's from, bro, that's why I'm excited for this Shang-Chi 2 movie, bro. Because Shang-Chi 2, now that I think about it, might lead into them finding out where the hell these rings come from, as you know, as well as Shang-Chi using them to fight and etc. All his villains that he gonna fight. But I truly believe we gonna get Shang-Chi 2 in between Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, bro. Because I feel like these rings gonna play a big role, especially if Doctor Doom might be able to see the beacon or feel the beacon from, like, feel the signal or whatever the case is from the rings. Shang-Chi 2 has to happen. I really hope it happens, but I hope he don't just cameo in other movies to complete that part of this. He needs his own movie, bro. It was one of the best solo movies they've dropped in a minute, bro. And then after Shang-Chi 2, what was after Shang-Chi 2? Was it Spider-Man? One of the Spider-Man movies? All I know is Shang-Chi 2 is one of the best solo movies they put out apart from the Spider-Man ones, bro, in a minute. You know what I mean? So they need to put out another one.
It's just for Captain Marvel to say, oh, well, they're not like any alien tech I've seen. We then learn that they're ancient, and the most important detail revealed is that Wenwu had the rings for 1,000
Heads up.
years, but they only felt it in Kamar-Taj when Shang-Chi took over the rings, meaning it's fair to assume that that's what set off the beacon, and whomever that beacon is going to was waiting for Shang-Chi to get them. Now the clue here is in the shape of where this beacon is actually being illuminated through. You see that the light courses from the center out through the top and the bottom, and that it's frayed like a tree on both sides. So
oh, so is Loki gonna be a part of this stuff, bro? This is getting very good, bro. Bro, they have to make a Shang-Chi movie again, bro. They have to make another one, bro. They have to put people like if this is showing the what is it called, Yggdrasil, I think it's how you say the tree. You know what I'm saying? If that's gonna be a part of the Ten Rings story, bro, Loki is gonna be a part of Shang-Chi 2, bro. And I fully believe Shang-Chi 2 is coming out, bro. They are making a movie. They made the script right now. I'm saying it right now, bro. I'm speaking it into existence, bro.
simply rotate this about 45 degrees, you get exactly the shape of the Yggdrasil world tree that Loki turned the multiverse timeline into when he assumed his seat at the center of the multiverse.
So you think the beacon is coming from there?
That signal is either going or coming from Loki. Now, the reason I say either going or coming is that the dialogue in the scene seems to imply that the beacon or the signal is being sent to that location. However, if you look at the animation, it certainly looks like the signal is emanating, or rather coming, from that location. So this means one of two things. If the signal is truly being...
If it's coming from there, does that mean the rings may have created those... Does it mean the tree may have created those rings? Or the rings came from the tree, like maybe somebody used parts of the tree to make the rings, and that's why they can't find where it comes from, because it comes from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's connected to everything type shit, you know? Bro, Shang-Chi, bro, he's becoming very important just based off him having the ring, the 10 rings, bro. And I would love to see him in action again, bro.
Sent to Loki. That's to notify him that Shang-Chi is now in possession of the rings and ready to be recruited for his multiverse Avengers. Industry insiders have indicated that one of the teams we will see is the force that Loki recruits himself. Now, I've always thought this brings up some sort of complicated issue where it certainly felt like at the end of Loki season 2 that he was sort of confined to that chair. The guy who was worried about his friends, now destined to be alone in the center of the multiverse, giving them all a chance, as Sylvie put it. But even though it wasn't shown on screen, remember, we got a glimpse at Loki's power set. He could stop time, work outside of it, go back in time. It's implied he spent decades or maybe even centuries learning physics there at the end of season 2. So a lot of the life that Loki has lived has been off screen, and it is possible that at one point he thought to take these weapons that would notify him in the future of which heroes to recruit, like Miss Marvel's bands, and what probably...
Bro, Loki is a top 10 player right now, bro. And I'm pretty sure they're not gonna make a Loki season 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? So his story might be shown a little bit more through Thor's movie. You know what I'm saying? The movie might be called Thor and Loki or something, like, you know, like it might be like a brother type movie showing both of their connections, and you know the scene where Deadpool was crying, like I was saying in my past video, bro. Like, go check it out if you ain't checked out my past videos. I think Deadpool ended up dying in Thor's arms almost about to tell Thor where Loki, how to get to Loki and get him off the chair, or maybe he did tell Thor, and that's why Thor is crying, because he's like, I could finally get to my brother, or I could finally see my brother for the last time, or whatever the case is. Plus, my friend is dying in my arms. Nigga.
Would have been the Necro Sword for Black Knight, but, well, again, like we said in the prologue, we might not be seeing Black Knight for a while. Now, the other option is that it looks like what the animation looks like, and that the signal is coming from Loki, which means these 10 rings operate as a roadmap of sorts, a way to find Loki and how to get to him. Now, we know from some behind-the-scenes set photos and videos that were posted to social media by the actors and stunt doubles themselves, so lightest of spoiler warning, though it's been covered at almost every YouTube channel at this point, including ours, that at least Thor's stunt double was not only in the TVA, but was on set in the TVA outside the entrance to the loom, where Loki took his seat at the center of the multiverse. That means that at least Thor is going to travel there. And given some other industry insider reports,
I do not watch my videos before, bro. My mic's low, yeah, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro, Marvel needs to hire me or something, bro. I'm really connecting the dots.
Apparently, Thor may be one of the first characters because of his connection to eternity through love, who finds out about what's going wrong with the multiverse in the coming of Doom, which means that Thor could be on his own path to try to assemble Avengers, or simply find a way to Loki himself, which might lead him to Shang-Chi.
I think Deadpool gonna tell him.
If they have a roadmap to Loki, they may not be the only ones who are looking for that, including Doctor Doom, which means it might explain Dr. Doom's motivation to come to the 616 in the first place, or the importance of the 616, that the roadmap on how to get to Loki exists in that timeline. And so, it could be a race to get the roadmap so that Dr. Doom doesn't. And we know, again, because Thor is in the TVA, that at least Thor or some other Avengers are going to get there. But what if that's where the final battle of the film actually takes place, for that chair at the center of the multiverse? Even with Loki involved, we could see Doctor Doom against the heroes trying to stop him, all centered around that throne that Loki's currently on. Now, one little asterisk I want to put by this theory, basically because it really sort of irks me again that Loki can't leave that seat. I think that that is very important, and I think it's also very true, meaning the Avengers got to go to him, but he's also been proven to be able to create multiple clones of himself.
Bro, I said this in all my other, bro, he has powers to make clones of himself before he even sat in that chair. What if him sitting in that chair with his power just amplified that power? And maybe that's why he's the perfect person to be in that chair, because he can actually leave the chair without leaving. You know what I'm saying? He might be the only beings that's able to do that, which is why he might be the perfect person to be there. I really think this is him sitting in the chair is gonna make him powerful enough to be omnipresent. If it wasn't, bro, I'm thinking whoever sat in that chair before, whatever the case, didn't have powers to make clones of themselves before they sat in the chair. You know what I mean? But Loki having that, I think that's gonna play a huge role in why he was the perfect person to sit there.
If he is sitting at the center of the multiverse, perhaps one of his powers will be able to manifest himself as at least an avatar or some other way inside the multiverse as well as a clone. That would be absolutely insane, but given what we've already seen out of Loki God of Stories, he might be one of the more powerful, if not most powerful characters we've got, you know, outside of a celestial like eternity, etc. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below and how you feel about this theory in general.
Hey, maybe he'll be able to do something like King Kai, bro, be able to talk to conscious and stuff, you know what I mean?